Oh, it says we're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Thank you all for being here. Today we have Tony from Shining Hawk Healing. We got Adrian from Red Lentil Healing. We've got Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice. And we have our special guest, Alina Rodriguez.
Hi.
So if you're not already subscribed to each of us, go do that and go watch the content because it's very, very good. Okay. All right. So what do you guys have going on in the next few days, the next week on your channels?
Not a whole lot. It's just been, this week has been so up and down energy wise. It's just like, I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do anything because I can't get my head around it. I just can't.
Yeah.
So,
you call it self-care.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not doing important. Nothing. It's self-care.
Well, I mean, it was great because I got in a lot of like my hair and did my nails and a lot of baths and stuff like that, so that you can just like avoid the news.
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously. For me, I put out a new sound healing, which is funny because it got demonetized because apparently my new intro, somebody is claiming that that's copywritten, even though I got it off of a royalty-free site, so whatever, but that didn't take away the video. So go listen to the new sound bath meditation that I put out this week. And then tomorrow we will be live with Jen Lynn for a fundraiser at 7 p.m. Eastern. Do the rest of the math for your time zones, but it starts at 7. She's going to have a bunch of different readers coming on, and it's all a fundraiser for, I believe it's Feed the Hungry. I know it's a really good cause.
World's Kitchen.
Kitchen. And those from some
the
about
guy who's right now cooking in the Ukraine for the refugees.
Yes, it's for feeding people. Very good call. So please join Jen Lynn's channel tomorrow at 7 Eastern.
Nothing. He's
waiting on his new camera.
Waiting.
I don't have anything on my channel this week. So that's. Oh well, I'll give the announcements, I suppose. Tomorrow we'll be live with Jen Lynn for, I think it's World Central Kitchen is what it's called. Fundraiser there. We're going to do some hopefully more non-political so that we can sort of lift the energy a little bit. And then Sunday we'll be on Becca's channel, joined by Lena Rodriguez as well.
That saves me having to think of something. Good. Thank you.
So yes, that's and yes, I did get a new deck. It's right here. So there you go.
You know what? I think it's always safe to assume that you have gotten a new deck since the last time.
Yeah, really.
248, I think. 249.
249. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
They've got to the stage where you'll have to insure them separately. Anything else
I'll be all right.
They'd never believe you. Imagine making a claim. 249 tarot decks.
Really?
They're so neatly stored. So that was my announcements.
Yep.
Sienna, what you got? Lena has none. She has the same.
Okay. Well, I mean, tonight we're here, and then on Monday it's 6:30 Pacific time. So do the math, your time zone, whatever. I will be on the Soul Sisters Tarot channel. They have very graciously invited me on, and I'm very happy to join them. I had a lot of fun on the last time I streamed with Sonia Rain Lee. I really liked her a lot, so this will be really good.
Yeah.
So check that out on Monday.
Oh yeah, I'll be doing this week. This is
and I didn't get mine today.
You didn't get yours?
We're supposed to be here today, but it's between the moon and New York City right now. So.
I'll be coloring. I'll be doing these very, very.
Tell them what it is.
Fantastic.
So this is a 30 days of positive thinking, and this was designed by our very own Sienna. Sienna Rose, Metaphysical. So
That's
Go
great.
to. I got mine from Amazon. So if you if you're in the U.S., you can probably get it pretty quickly on Amazon. But it's also
Yeah.
at Barnes and Noble, right?
Yes, Barnes and Noble. For some reason, I checked it on Canadian Amazon and it was a little bit harder to find. It was shipping from the UK. I have no idea. But you can buy it on Barnes and Noble online.
Great.
And I'm sure American Amazon and British Amazon, I'm sure it works fine. I don't know about Australia, but hopefully.
Yeah, we're always different. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
And everything costs $2 million to post. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the shipping is what gets you.
You're practically on another planet, so I mean.
I mean, I was thinking it, but I didn't say it out loud. I was like, you're kind of in another part of the world.
You're in outer space.
The part of the world where people fall off the bottom.
Yeah, yeah, we're used to hanging on by our fingernails.
Where everything is upside down.
Yep.
All right.
The Earth is flat. They're okay.
We already have 52 people in the chat. We got Melody here. We have like quite a few people from Australia watching, which is kind of fun. Judith, we have we have Valerie, we have Marlena and Rena.
I didn't share the show.
Atlanta, Brooklyn girl. There's a few people that I don't actually recognize. So hello and welcome. Thank you.
Jen Lynn's there. Hi, Jen
Oh,
Lynn.
is she? Oh, there she is. Hello, Jen.
And
hello.
a shout out to all the Australians. Oi, oi, oi. They know what I mean. Yeah.
All right. So I think we're ready to begin if you guys are. And so our first question, we're actually going to just jump right in with the weirdness. I thought about this today. Actually, I think about this a lot, but never really brought it up. Okay, so poltergeists. We know about them and how they they're the ghosts that like bang on the walls and they move the chairs around and they make such a big ruckus. Why do they make such a racket? Are they just looking for attention? And if they are, why are they going about it like that?
Because they're dillweeds.
They think it's funny? Like, I don't know. But I figured that would be a good one to start with. Why are they so noisy? Oh, and yes, sorry, I forgot to actually make a community post this week asking for questions. So what I did do was go through a lot of the other questions in community posts that we never actually got to answering. So we might have one of your like older questions or something on here. We'll see.
We're not reading on spiders.
Somebody wants to read on spiders.
I love spiders.
Yeah. Ones that the media keeps reporting about.
In Australia, we have huge spiders, right?
You have weird and huge everything down there.
And my mad Irish parents always told us spiders are lucky. And I think that was just so kids wouldn't freak out and they could send you up the ladder to go and get the spider. Yeah.
So you wouldn't pass out when you saw a 15-foot spider jumping out at you.
So there's this kid show, Peppa Pig, and they actually had to edit an episode that aired in Australia because it's a British show. And there's one part where she's scared of a spider and her parents go, "Oh no, spiders won't hurt you." But in Australia, the spiders can hurt you. So they had to actually cut that whole line out.
Spiders. Oh, we have everything that can kill you. Yeah.
And you guys have dangerous plants too.
Yes. So we've got snakes and sharks and spiders. Mind you, everything's so built up these days. You could go 50 years before you saw one, but yeah.
So who would like to go first? Who's got all their...
I will go first.
Okay, let's get Tony first.
So, so they had an emotional loss. Yeah, they lost their bodies. So they lost their bodies, Miss Adrienne. And this allows them to talk about it, to let you know they're not happy about it at all.
Yeah, I get that.
It's the only thing. I mean, they're being able to move things. That's a big deal when you're a spirit, right? Because you have to put a lot of energy into it. So
I was going to say it takes a lot.
Really want. And that's them. They're manifesting their dreams of getting under your skin or getting your attention. So yeah, they just want to be seen.
I get that actually.
Mine is really intense, my answer. There's something that they have no connection, is kind of what I'm getting, to the spirit world, to any other world other than what they are in their incarnate, how they are in their whatever form they're in. Because it starts off with the 9 of Cups, which is kind of like this wishful thinking, wishful fulfillment, kind of also selfishness I'm hearing. And their challenge is the Queen of Wands, the supportive action. It's really interesting too, because at the here and now, and also in the past, I've got judgment and justice. They feel wronged. This is kind of like their way of lashing out, like being a toddler. Not even being a toddler. It's kind of like lashing out. Why can't you see me? Why can't you help me? I feel slighted. I feel, because they're not happy. There's this 4 of Pentacles and the Emperor. They kind of, I hate this. This feels weird. Almost like I've been forsaken. The Emperor, I want to put it like in a, normally the Emperor, the Hierophant for me is spirit, God, but I'm getting at the Emperor, like they are blaming God, which is why I didn't get the Hierophant. I got the Emperor. That's how they're seeing it. Like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm pissy. I'm disruptive. So this is just, I've been wronged. I should be crossed over. This sucks. This sucks. You suck. I don't want to be here. Arr! And then that's kind of how that's why they show themselves the way that they do.
Makes sense. I guess we have living people who bang on the walls and throw things when they're mad. So
Yeah.
I don't see why the dead would be much different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I get. They're obnoxious, is pretty much what I get. There's the hermit, isolation, in the middle of something, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of here and there type of thing. 5 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles. Bully, thrown out in the cold. They're obnoxious. So that's kind of what they want to be, what they want to do. You can't stop them, is how they might feel, but oh, you just try me.
Yeah.
I got about 9 different books back here that'll get rid of you real fast. But that's what I get.
Yeah. I've got a more sort of benign view, if you like, in the sense that, look, they're struggling to work out where they are. This is that thing, 1 foot in one place, one in the other. They haven't quite left the earthly plane the other. And they're confused, by this, what to do. So it's their plan to try and draw attention to themselves. I think they're really craving help to move to the other side more fully. So they come up with this plan, which is very direct. It's an ace to draw your attention to them. And they need help to move on. So I think rather than resist them and resent them, you can encourage them to move on. There are all sorts of quite simple rituals you can do, but you have to be the grown-up, because in a way, the poltergeist energy is like the 12-year-old in the Ferrari. So you have to get your big boss energy up, to say, no, move to the light, light candles for them, try and help them cross over.
I also got a rather kind of benign perspective on it. I have, yes, 6 of Pentacles, they want help. That is for sure what comes in. They want help, but some of them, I got 3 of Pentacles. Some of them are getting used to being a spirit and being like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Oh, I can move things. I can, and it's like, oh, they noticed that. Okay. So they kind of, some of them have fun with it because they're like, I'm kind of thinking of a toddler who's learning that they're aware of their bodies, and they're like, oh, I can grab things. I can climb things. I'm going to do this. And it sometimes bugs the adults around them.
Yeah.
People in spirit are kind of like that too. It's like, oh, I haven't been here in a while. Oh, I forgot I could do this and this and this. Okay, cool. They want to also be remembered with the star card. They do want attention. They need the help. And how are they going to get the help if they can't get somebody's attention? So yeah, I think they do really want attention, but it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm just here to scare you and be a jerk about it. Yeah. Some of them are like that, but a lot of them it's like, I don't know what else to do. I'm so desperate for help. I am freaking out. And so that seems to be why they do that. Doesn't mean it's not annoying or, scary for the people who hear banging at like 3 a.m. But at least we know there's something that we can do about it, like Lena was saying, to encourage them to move on and to help them.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comments here. Someone said when she was in Australia, she saw spiders that were so huge the first time she nearly passed out.
Oh, they got like bugs the size of your hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and you know what? I have like an actual phobia of moths, and I know they got some big moths.
Yeah, everything's larger than life here.
I'm okay seeing a picture of it from the safety of my phone screen, but I do not want that in my hair.
And leeches, like in these floods now, leeches come out, and you take your boot off and there's 3 leeches there, and they put in an anesthetic so you can't feel them.
No, thank you. No.
And it's an anticoagulant, so you bleed, and you take your sock off, and it's like,
oh, I'm good. Though. I'm good. Thank you.
I'm putting up. I'd be good for Tourism Australia, wouldn't I? Really?
Yeah. You know what? You give an honest perspective.
But we just find it normal. Like Johnny, you were saying about the plants. Someone was saying we even have vicious plants. There's one plant in the northern tropics, and you walk past it, and it wraps around you like a horror movie, and the Aboriginal people there call it "wait a while." You're not going anywhere.
No, that's a good name for it.
I call it crazy. I'd go like insanity. That would be my word for it. Do not constrict me. I can't.
Especially if you're also afraid of
you can come and stay in the cities and go to the beaches and have a perfectly nice time.
Yes, you do what African Americans do. You stay out of the woods.
That's right.
Yeah,
get that sand in your toes.
I was just gonna be polite and say I'm a city girl, but in my mind, I was like, I am way too ethnic for that. Way too black.
Leeches? No, thank you. I don't walk around in swamps in America. Definitely.
We got Igor in the chat saying, "Then there's drop bears." Now, I'm just gonna say, I was way too old when I realized that there's actually not drop bears. Not like that will come out of the tree and jump on you and get you. I don't know. I was like I was like close to 20 years old when I realized that was just a joke.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost.
So I kind of laugh every time that I hear about drop bears. I was a little scared.
No, thank you.
And we have huge carpet snakes that are like anacondas. And every farm
don't want none.
Every farm has its carpet snakes because they keep the rats down and things. Me, as a baby, they'd be going off all the adults cutting cane, and no one had playpens or anything, so they turned over an old wardrobe outside, left me, the baby, right, underneath the favourite tree of the carpet snake. It's amazing I made it.
Do they bite people?
No, but they're not as dangerous. There's some other much smaller snakes that'll kill you like that, right?
Oh, wow.
They look fully scary, but they will take a chicken, they will take a puppy, they'll take a kitten. Yeah.
A baby.
Okay. Baby, oh my God.
No, man.
You would have been the perfect size to be like, oh, I'm going to have this snack.
Yeah, look, exactly.
Baby's the size of a chicken nugget for them. So they're like, oh,
yeah,
let's have this appetizer.
I tried to make this case and the family went, well, it didn't happen.
Oh, no.
It's okay. It didn't happen.
I cannot. No, thank you.
I can't deal with that snake.
You had
Snakes are tough.
until the snakes. And then I was like, nah, bruh. No.
It's the little bitty spiders that I'm afraid of because they can crawl into your ear and stuff like that. I'm just like, I have a problem with it.
That's your mind
Maybe
telling
you're-
stories now, because it's like the what ifs.
I couldn't believe it when I went to live in England for a while and we'd go in the country and something. I'd say, this is really weird. There's nothing that bites or stings or scratches or does
Just a
anything,
lot of feet.
you know, because people have lived everywhere for so long.
No, and
So I found that a bit dull, really.
And then Lena, you
Your
were
life
saying
wasn't
about
on the
how
line.
those snakes will take a puppy or a kitten. Marlene in the chat says they'll take a puppy or a kitten. So essentially, they'll take any and all joy.
If it's warm and milky, they love it.
oh. Babies are warm and they're full of milk. I'm done. I told
Just
you.
saying.
Can you go away from snakes eating babies?
Like a chicken nugget.
Stick to the city.
Stay in the
Oh,
city,
my
you'll be
gosh.
okay.
Our next question is also about the spirit realm, kind of, sort of. Now, somebody in the community section on one my older post had said that Houdini had spent much of his life trying to find a medium who would help him to connect with his deceased mom. And what this person wanted to know was, did they find each other since he died? Have they found each other on the other side? Is he still looking for her? Did everything work out? How did that work out for him?
Now, that's a hell of a way to earn a living, isn't it? Wrapped in chains and thrown into a pool.
God.
Somebody who wanted attention. Bless his heart.
Houdini. Huh. Oh, wow.
I wonder if they knew each other well. He learned a lot. Okay. So the way this is that don't you unplug? God dang it. Okay. So what I get though, yes, to answer the question. There is some way or something about the way she died that he was not clear on or didn't know or something like that. There's also things about her life and his life as he was growing up he did not know. There was a lot of revelation for him once he actually not found her as in he was searching for her once he was there. This was not, he didn't have to do the where's Waldo when he got to the other side or nothing. But there is a lot of information with the sun, death, and the Knight of Cups that he did not know. So there was a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, to answer the question, he did.
Yeah, he had to also to change. There was some perspective changing. There was something he needed to get out of his own way. It's almost like she presented herself, and he's like, "No, I'm looking for my mom." And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, No. She was like blonde, and she had like green eyes. And she's like, I'm your mammy. But yeah, they did, and I get to my outcome card is strength. Very strong bond once he realizes that the brunette with the green eyes instead of the blonde with the blue eyes was his mother. They worked it out. So yeah, they did. He found her.
You're on mute, Tony.
I don't know. Every card I pulled was like, what?
Yeah.
They're not talking to me about that. They don't want me to know.
Isn't it funny?
No.
That happens, doesn't it? I got the opposite in a way. It's like the cards just went boom, boom, boom. He was a magician who specialized in escapology or whatever you call escape. I mean, really, how ridiculous. I think he couldn't contact her on this side because he was too in the brain, too intellectual. That was what stopped it happening. But then when he crossed, it was fine. Luminosity. of the ace. Yeah, you got the hostage too. How weird is that? Mm.
Yeah, I didn't understand the cards.
Mm.
I got the devil, and then I got this.
I also had the devil.
Yeah.
What was that about?
What's
What is that about? The 8 of Pentacles.
I'm just thinking, was he a heavy drinker? Maybe.
I don't know.
I've
I know
got no idea.
one of them had vices, because that's what I'm picking up here.
Yeah.
One or both of them, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm actually picking up that she had some issues that he never knew about that she managed to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm actually getting, okay, so situation, he's looking for a medium who could sort of do it all for him. You know, here, find her, get the message from her, give this message from me to her. The challenge, I actually had the Knight of Cups, and this is her being like, hello, I'm here, but he didn't notice. He didn't notice. But yeah, they did reconnect, and there's a lot of nostalgia here as well with Six of Cups. Like, oh my gosh, there's like, it's so good to be with you again. And I'm hearing something about her saying, my little boy, like, that it's really cute. Like, just happy to see him and to be with him. But it wasn't easy at first for him to find her because he wasn't looking in the right places.
That was hard work.
Yeah.
And
then, when they, I have these 3 cards: Devil, 5 of Pentacles, and 5 of Wands. These are all talking about like vices and struggles and things like that. I think they had kind of like a very frank conversation on that when they finally got back together on the other side. She's like, you actually had no idea what I have been through. And there were things that he had been through that maybe she hadn't been aware of either. But it seems like they were able to work it out. I have the Lovers card on the bottom. It's like happy reunion.
Yeah, that's strength.
Like, it seems to have a happy enough ending, this one.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Looks
that's
like
good.
somebody
That
needs to
was
do a
the answer
video.
I thought would come up, but
What, on Houdini?
Yeah, I think Sienna needs to do a video.
that would be really cool. There's a few people I've got to do medium readings for. I'll add them to my list.
Yeah.
Now this next one actually is quite different because we're going from the spirit realm now to Earth. Now, the way I had worded the question, I used North America, but you could always substitute North America for like Australia or for pretty much any other country or continent. But I had asked, what would North America be like if the European settlers never showed up? And we could always ask this about Australia too. What would that be like before all the settlers came?
Yeah.
What would it be like today if they just had never come? I wonder that, and I've just never really thought to ask it before.
It would be a lot more colorful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay, now I have to know.
Good.
I'm so, really? Let me just. If it's
Wow. Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, you know what? Okay. Wow, I gotta find a really nice way to put all of this.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Just say it.
Ooh, wee. Okay. Whoever wants to go.
Shall I go?
Thank you, Mark.
If you'd like to, yeah. Oh, Marty, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much.
This is an interesting first card. This is watching the ships arrive. So it's like putting us there just before they come, right? It's like that. I think people forget Indigenous societies actually have quite strict laws of their own.
Mhm.
And the societies, like we were taught with Aboriginal people, this is a Stone Age people, and they just wandered off starving into the sunset, and were lucky to survive another day. No, it was a highly ordered society, really highly ordered. Women were happier. They understood the mysteries of life and death and life and death and the cycles of life and death. And it was infinitely more inclusive, and people were much happier than they are now. Because you had your place. There was a solidness of belonging and place.
I get try to phrase this. Walking the Lion is about boldness, about courage, about moving forward. And I also get the Knight of Swords charging in with these new thoughts. I think they would have been highly innovative. There would have been way more innovation than what the settlers thought that they were bringing to these people, if you catch what I'm saying, right? Very innovative. There would have been almost would have seen, I don't know how to phrase this. I don't know how to say it, so I'm just not going to, but very, very innovative. Extremely advanced is what I'm going to put it. Technology, we would be having 3D TVs in every home level of technologically advanced, spiritually advanced, very, very advanced. Because again, that boldness, that not being afraid to step into doing things, step into consciousness, step into what you have with the lion energy and just being and doing. I also get Close Encounters, which is also about this humility, is really what it truly, if you want to think about what it means, it's humility, because it's about being vulnerable. And that vulnerability, instead of it being your weakest link, now becomes your greatest asset. And with that, I asked, what's the energy? And I get 2. I pulled 1, and I said, that's disrespectful. And then I said, if I get another heart chakra card, I'm going to throw the deck down, and I got a second heart chakra card. Lots of love, because think about it. Indigenous, at least I know with my family, it is all about that love, that sacred connection to Mama Earth and to each other. And so it would have just been a place full, there would have been just so much love. Now, don't get it twisted. They're different nation states. And yes, they have their bickering and their war. But even then, it was a little bit less divide and conquering than we want to think of and try to portray it to be, is how I'm going to phrase it. So that vulnerability to be human, to be loving, is definitely here between the Close Encounters and the 2 heart chakra cards that I got.
Okay.
So I get, first off, 6 of Cups Empress, a huge focus on family. And it's still that way with especially the Native American tribes I know. It's a huge focus on family, huge. And then there is also deep spiritual and spiritualism. So they are very spiritual people. And everybody is, but this is a little different in their culture than it is in other people's culture. So since we're talking about this country here, the laws, like Lena said, would have been very different. The customs would have been very different. Now, mind you, we're in 2022. So it's not like they would still be chasing buffalo down on horseback. So things would be different. Yes, you would still have settlers and colonizers and everything else, and Elon Musk would probably own half of California. All that would probably still exist, but just in a different way, because their laws, their culture, their customs are different. Yes, there's still a human aspect to it too, with the Knight of Swords and the 3 of Wands. There's still an international aspect. There's still fighting and bickering over land aspect. People are still people. I don't care what culture they're from. But there is still a lot of focus on family and spiritualism as well. And I'll leave it at that, so I don't get all shady.
So if we go back in time, turn the clock back, take the Wayback Machine and move back, there was so much that they had. They had everything. Even the youngest, even the poorest had something. There was a happiness, there was a togetherness, there was all of that. There was light, there was the sun. We worshiped the sun because it gave us all that we needed. We were able to choose, because we had a connection to the earth, we had a connection to Mother Nature. We could choose what we were going to do based on the precept that we don't take more than we need. We only take what is necessary. So that was and then the settlers came in and just raped the land.
Yeah.
What you gonna do about that? I don't know. But it was, you had conflict, you had heartache and loss, because that's life. You can't get away from that. You always have material changes, but you have an awareness of where your riches, the truth about, and balance about where your world, where your life, where your heart, where your soul is. So they were very, on a fast track for, just keeping it real, but then
this deep spiritual life as well. Yeah.
yes, very much so.
Moving on. What you get, Sia?
Well, I also have 10 of Cups. And now in this deck, this is also like the celebrations, being happy, but there's definitely just a huge emphasis on community. I keep getting the word communal. Like, it's more about how do we take care of each other instead of I take care of me and screw you. Kind of like the attitude that society has nowadays. It's very much like, what can we do for each other? What can we do for us? There's a big emphasis on the collective and on the family. I also have the 5 of Cups in reverse, and this is saying that a lot of heartache would have been avoided. A lot of the genocide and the erasure of culture and things like that, a lot of that pain could have been avoided. They would have still had, like you guys were saying, like the depending on, the area, like the different tribes or the different groups of people would have had their own conflicts and stuff. They would have been able to find a way to get past it. And they would have been able to, okay, well, you know what, let's come to some kind of an agreement. Whereas with the settlers, it was more like, we're here now, and now we have control, and you guys, we're going to just push you over to these reservations or whatever.
To save you, to help you, to save you from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To save you.
When actually, they were fine, and they would have continued doing fine. I'm picking up here like a strong economy with the King of Pentacles. And I don't know if it's just material wealth, but like there's this attention being paid to resources, respect towards resources could help conserve, some of our planet a little bit better. They would have had their own justice systems that worked for them and resonated with them and was fair to them. And yeah, there is something here about like a fast track, almost like the fast track to enlightenment. If it weren't for the settlers, I think these places could have been a lot more like spiritually advanced or something. Now I have a super chat from Beautiful Girl in the chat. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to add to that before we move on.
Yeah.
The problem is we're taught history, which is usually white history, and it's taught from the point of view of this war to that war and who won. And so societies that function for thousands of years cooperatively are invisible. And so we think human nature is always this thing. And cooperation and skills of cooperation aren't valued. And I know in the Maori context, the Aboriginal context, and to a certain extent, the Native American context of what I understand is, yes, there were disputes over territory or women or different issues. However, who constitutes a leader? So a leader has to be brave in those situations, but a leader was also valued for their peacemaking capacity, because you cannot have your best and strongest fighting men wiped out routinely every 6 months or 2 years because you've got a problem with a neighboring tribe. Right. So their skill at oratory and peacemaking was legendary. But do we hear about that? No.
So a word that I learned that I shared on my community post, like in, I believe, Nigeria, several countries in Africa, actually, it is a cardinal sin to be inhospitable.
Oh, yeah.
And with the Navajo or the Dene, there's Nchawadena, which means don't take more than you need. And so there is no real aspect of, even if we're fighting over territory, it's not a greed aspect, it's I need to expand aspect. And maybe we just don't have an agreement as to you can't live here, I live here. So there's still not a I need to take everything from your land, give you a turkey, and kill you at the same time. So
yes.
Anyway, I wouldn't go in there. So shh. Next question.
And on top of that, here's a really big dose of smallpox.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I just had it all down. I'm like, I'm not going to say
Syphilis.
it. Syphilis, smallpox.
Yeah, all those diseases.
Malaria.
Cheryl in the chat says New Zealand has their own indigenous court system. I actually did not know that.
Yes. And let me tell you, it's not the easy way out.
Oh, no.
But they are ahead of everywhere else in the world, because the incarceration of Maori was very high, 50s and 70s still high. So unlike Australia, that has the highest and still does it, New Zealand said we've got to have a circuit breaker, and they have what they call whānau or family courts. So you bring in the young offender, and it's the job to get him to apologise to whoever he stole from or hit or anything, which is often harder for these guys than doing jail time. They've got to really, humble themselves and do it. But they have a very sophisticated system compared with anywhere else, New Zealand. So full marks to them. Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's not talked about more.
Sorry, I've got to add one more thing, because this is a really important thing. They thought, because this was years in the making to get this system up and running, and they said it's going to be no good if the guys who are in jail learn nothing. So they introduced carving programs and art and music programs, but they also worked with retraining the prison guards. So they said, now the deal is for prison guards, you're in charge of these 3 guys, right? You get a bonus for every 6 months or year they stay out of jail in the future.
Wow. That's good.
Right?
That is good.
How is that for progressive? So they are totally invested into being mentors and uncles to these guys instead of being hard ass.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that here.
Oh no,
that's the focus on rehabilitation rather than the punishment.
Yeah.
They get paid by the prisoner here. So, and
of course,
the more prisoners they have, the more money they make. So
it's horrendous. That's privatization of prisons, but it was bad before.
Yeah.
And can't we do better than cages in this day and age? Can we not do better than cages?
No.
You know?
I know.
Okay, let's move on.
That kind of treatment, it's not going to make that person want to do better when they get out.
No, you've got to survive. You've got to
have more
survive
trauma.
today.
Yeah. We are going to change gears. Now this feels weird because we went from something very serious to like aliens. We're talking about aliens. It wouldn't be one of these streams without aliens. Somebody had asked quite a while ago, and I had totally forgotten about their question, but they had asked if aliens ever take people and replace them with a body double until they're ready to give them back or, return them. And I think, what movie did they reference? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I think. Does something like that happen? That's what they wanted to know.
I mean, I know some weird people, but we'll see.
Like there's some people, there's some people where it's like, are you sure you're not an alien?
That's me.
Well, now I gotta know.
Johnny, you have to go first.
I didn't pull anything.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't pull anything.
Thinking of the three people.
Please do not take offense at what I'm about to say. It is so hard for me to take this seriously.
Oh, I know, but I figured I would, ask her a question.
Because me and my cards don't do well with alien reads.
Yeah, and I've never read on aliens, and it could be my last time.
It's like, you want me to read if they abducted somebody and then dropped the double and then, I guess, went down the street with the real one?
Well, Johnny, I'm gonna help make it easier for you. I pulled 2 cards and it told me to stop. If they did, they gave them right back with the 4.
Yeah.
And then the 9 of Wands. It was like we thought we were gonna do a switcheroo. This one here won't stop talking about TikTok and Taco Bell. So I'm gonna just take it back because at first I thought I was gonna keep them. I thought I was gonna do something, but they're making it really difficult. No, I'm gonna take
I
the body.
shuffled, one flew out. I'll take that. It's 9 of Swords. For everybody on the screen knows what it means. If you don't know what it means, Google it and find out. That's all
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So I don't know why I got this third eye, but it's it's the aliens all seeing. But I did get this spiritual union. So maybe.
I'm so excited. I love it.
So wait, look. So there's this one says heartache and loss. So I don't know if that's the person who gets taken. they have to sacrifice something. The shadow. They're identical. So they put in a shadow person in your place. Oh my God. And then the real person is trapped in fear because they can't.
Now, what is the shadow card?
The shadow card.
What number is that? That's the devil. Okay. No, that's the moon.
That's the moon. It's 18. Yeah, it's the moon.
Yeah.
That makes sense too.
I don't know. I'm just having fun. It's my ears are hot. Maybe I'm an alien and I just don't know.
You're the double.
Too freaking funny.
I mean, okay. We're spiritual beings walking around in flesh, so anything can happen.
It's true.
How odd does that sound to somebody who's not in y'all's realm too? So I mean, I don't mean to be so dismissive, but I find that so a stretch.
It's the body snatchers.
If you're gonna clone me, though, here's my thing. If you're gonna clone me, why not keep the double and then just put me back?
That's kind of what I thought though, Johnny, was like they kept the original was a little too extra because again they kept talking about TikTok and doing TikTok and they wanted Taco Bell, so they were like, you know what? I think I'm gonna just keep the one
We'll
that
keep the carbon copy. We'll get back to the original.
because they're like the carbon copy. We can swap them out occasionally if we need to when we get tired of the original. This one's special.
My parents didn't want two of me. I know y'all don't. So they stopped right after me.
I'm a little much even for my own mother.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they do. I have the magician card, and this is just like, this was showing me people trying to come up with an explanation for something that they don't really understand. What else do I have here? I have like 4 major arcana, and for some reason I just don't really get any of them. Other than people trying to come up with an explanation for something they really don't get. Also, there's like they want like this narrative of, oh, aliens are dangerous and evil and stuff to be like the popular narrative. But no, I don't think they do that. But I thought I would, trying to answer that person's question anyway.
No.
We wish sometimes that they would come back and leave a double for people who are bothering.
Like maybe there's some people out there that's like, oh my God, just get abducted already.
Yeah, really.
Depends, because I don't want you to think that's the representative of the human race.
That too, though.
Well,
and then again,
they only
those
go
people
by
get
and pick
abducted.
up Billy Bob from from that deserted highway. Billy Bob was on in his truck.
Oh, yeah.
They take him. He's the perfect representative.
And then if some of these people get abducted, and like Adrian's saying, they just don't shut up, and the aliens are like, oh my God, no, we're sending you back.
That was me. We don't understand this thing, Gemini. Why are you talking so much?
Oh, no, that's my sister. Right, my sister, right. Years ago, she had to have some test in a hospital where you're strapped into something and you're spun upside down. And so
Oh
and
God.
she's going, it's really hard to talk down here. No one's ever tried.
That would be me.
Like they don't need you to talk.
That sounds like something. Maybe this is why I haven't been abducted by aliens, because I'm one of those people that never shuts up.
They want the strong, silent types.
Just be obedient. Just shh.
Now we're moving from aliens back into the spiritual realm. Okay, souls who stick around after dying, instead of crossing over, they stick around to watch over a loved one. So what happens when that loved one dies? Do they cross over together? Do they cross over separately? What happens there?
Interesting.
Hmm.
You always gonna get that card.
Sound like Captain Hook for a second.
Yo ho ho in a bottle of rum. Whoa.
I get that it depends. If you are here because of trauma and you don't know that you've died or something of that nature, and you're watching over, then you do leave at separate times because something may be binding here. It's like if you went to the other side, if you crossed over and you came back to watch over this person, that's different. But if you never crossed over, you're going to have a hard time doing it, even if they leave, because you're still earthbound. Somebody needs to help you. I can say from experience, I know my grandparents came to watch over my mother, and so they all went together, but they were already there, and then they came back. And so you do have that aspect here of the dependability. This is my God card. So you do have that security, that dependability there. But it all depends. There are some people that need it because they're like my mother, for instance. She was going to have, well, she wasn't having a rough transition, but she was having a rough time at that time. And so it's like someone from the other side came in and sort of made things better and said, okay, it's okay for you to come down, blah, blah, blah. There's room in the inn. And so you got the Queen of Wands and the Magician. Some people do need it. Some people have a certain ticket. Like they have a certain, I don't know what the word is. Like there's something on them. There's something in their order form that says, okay, they need a person to watch over them because they're about to cross over or whatever. But yeah, just depends. If you have trauma and you're stuck here, you're going to be stuck here. If you don't and you came back here, then you can go with no problem.
I get something very similar too, because it's depending on making sure they don't get attached when they come back with the 7 of Wands and the completion. You got an assignment. Did you understand the assignment? So you can do it. Because if you don't, there's going to be, it's just, you got to, there's an assignment. So making sure that they don't get tricky and get caught up in becoming down and staying down. Because maybe they'll see more family members or things that more attachments is what I'm getting to coming back to the earth realm. I also get 6 of Pentacles and the Magician. So again, having this mastery, these resources to be able to share. This is an assignment is what I'm getting. It's just the assignment. Come down, help this person cross over, and then 6 of Wands and to do it successfully. So yeah, they can cross back over. It's kind of like, okay, we'll help you. You're good. We got you. It's like the crossing guard. We get you across the street safely. You're good. Okay, then we'll hang out for like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go do my thing, and then you got to go to orientation. Heaven orientation, if you will. But the key with this 7 of Wands and the world is you've got a job, go complete the job. Don't get sidetracked.
Do the job.
I understood the assignment.
Go ahead, Lena, if you want. You ready?
Yeah, it's one of those questions I find hard to separate from what I think normally about these issues, because I don't think they're necessarily stuck here. They can offer this protection from the other side. That's, to a certain extent, the whole point. So these cards are all about protection of who's left. So the deep emotional connection, the sun shining on them, looking after them, the ones helping them fight the good fight here. Look, all protection. And then I think they're there to help the mortal crossover. That's the role they've taken on, and their assignment, like you say, it's to look after them and then to help them cross. Yeah. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I see. They passed over, right? They saw the light, but but there's somebody here that needs me. I can't go. I want to be able to communicate with them still, even if they can't really hear me. I can speak through their intuition. I can communicate with them that way, and help out that way. But when they move on, there's so many doors. Which one do you go through? Which one? are we going to go through this door together, or do you go to that one? Like Adrian was saying, that's your door. I'll meet you.
I'll meet you at interval.
That's your door. This is mine. I'll meet you for dinner. We can meet up later. So they're here. They play this waiting game in the shadows, and they just watch over. It's just an emotional thing because they wanted to withdraw from the light so that they could stay here and fulfill that part of their journey on the wheel. So I think that I didn't know for sure, but I think that's the story, that they're here to help, to protect. And then when it's time to cross over, when they make the decision to cross over, have you guys seen that new show on, I don't know what it comes on, but it's on network television called Ghosts?
No.
It's really, really cute. But these ghosts, they stay in this mansion, and they say the people who cross over are popped off or jacked off or something like that.
What did you about the cartoons, ma'am? Thank you.
Adrian's face, that just killed me.
It is always Tony.
Oh no, she's gone.
But it's so funny. But they don't have a choice of when they leave. They have to wait until they figure something out. They get some kind of wisdom, and that allows them to get, it's sucked off. They get allowed them to.
I'm so sorry.
Adrian's gone off screen again.
He's always there.
I just want to note, for once, it's not me. And this is what I get because I tuned out for 3 seconds and I came back to jack off and I was like, oh. And then while I was trying to process that, I heard suck off and I was like, it's fine to go.
I have tears now.
Those are not my words. Those are
sure they're not.
You're channeling from the other side.
For once, it's not me. That's all I care about.
Oh God.
Oh,
Wow,
Lordy.
I need to pay closer attention. I brain went to dinner for 4 cast action seconds and came back to me talking about all the explicits.
Oh, I'm crying now.
Not rapture.
Okay. I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dave in the chat says something to look forward to. Great.
Oh gosh.
It is always.
I don't think I can handle this like an adult. I think I need an adult.
Yeah. The ghost made me say it.
Forever,
Yeah,
don't
the
you
ghost
ever
made me say it.
The ghost made me say it.
Whoever did the writing on that show, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You should watch it. It's funny.
I'm sure it is. Just don't watch it in public, apparently. Not safe.
Every time they say it, every time somebody gets, taken.
Rapture.
I crack up. Okay. All right.
Again, God bless you. Don't ever change. That's all I say. Whose turn is it?
No, we're done.
Well, I also had that it depends. It's very similar to what Johnny had with it depends. Some of these people who die and don't cross over, they choose to stay behind. They did not have to stay behind. They were supposed to accept the fact that hey, you know what? That lifetime, it was what it was, but now it's finished. You got to accept the fact that it's finished. You got to cross over before you come back and try to watch over this person. A lot of people, they want to do it because they care about the loved ones. They don't want to be separated from the loved ones. They're doing it out of compassion. They think they're doing it out of compassion. When really they have their own stuff to work through once they go over. Oh God, somebody's dying over there.
Jen Lynn.
God, what did she say?
She said it's always the one who hid from her blind grandmother.
And another viewer said they saw one episode where the Viking got therapy. So I don't know what that means.
That was funny.
Sounds fascinating.
Okay. Now that I've disrupted the whole stream.
You do what you're supposed to do.
It's
That's okay.
This is
And
this
then
is.
I'm gonna try to get through this without laughing. I'm so close to done this. Sometimes they do have the option to be a leader, help the loved one to cross over, and sometimes that loved one wants to do it on their own or needs to do it on their own. And sometimes the soul, that had first died and everything, they need to work on their own crossing over on their own. If that makes sense. But yeah, it depends. And now I'm just gonna keep thinking about this ghost show and how they're getting
Suck off.
jacked off and oh my God. I can't finish my sentence. My fiance is across the room thinking I've lost my damn mind.
Another question.
And then we do have our last question of the night, and this one is about portals. So, if a person stepped into a portal, so like how they say like Joshua Tree has a portal, or Sedona or other places like that, they've got spiritual portals. What would they find? Or do the portals really exist? If somebody were to step into one, what would they find? Would they see anything at all?
Going through the portal.
Jen Lynn says she'll find all her missing left socks. Isn't that true?
Oh, that's what that means. Okay. So I can figure out what that meant. Johnny, why don't you go?
Yeah, who's ready to go first?
It depends, because they're not all the same. You get the Queen of Wands and the Hermit is the first two cards. There could be a portal to nowhere, or one that you would just be wandering the dark. I'll take that back. Not so much dark. Wandering the energy. I'll say it that way, because I don't know for sure that any of them are just dark. I think there's some light to it, but because it's an energy thing. But anyway, and then there are some that don't send you nowhere good. There's the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Swords. Again, it's an energy thing. There are some energies that are just not for your frequency. I'll say it that way. There, you may not need to be in this in particular realm because it ain't for you. And then there's the Ten of Cups and the Emperor. Then there's power and family. These are separate entities as well. So here's some power. This is also an energy as well, like a Mars fire war type energy. So there's it's not a conflict. It's more of a solar plexus type thing. It's a lot of get up and go in it. So it's kind of where you can go to draw strength. I'll say it that way. And then there's one here where peace and light. Ten of Cups, happy harmony, peace and light. So it depends on where you go. I mean, you could be at the end of something horrible or in the middle of something great. Just depends on who you are and where you go.
Want to go, Lena?
Yeah, I changed decks, and the first card I picked up was this one from the Japaridze deck, which is like a portal, a hand coming through a wall. I thought,
Wow.
how cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty trippy card anyway, but for the very first one, I thought, oh, good, on the right track. So I think you've got the Keeper of the Flame, followed by the King of Tides, more emotional. So there's mortal emotions, let's say, the hot and cold, the everything's a drama, or whatever we have emotionally gets sorted out if you move towards the light. I then got two major arcana. One, the Judgment card, which is kind of interesting too, in light of this question. You go through a portal, what do you find? I don't think it's judgment in terms of you were bad, this will happen, you were good. It's more judgment in the fine line of, in the bigger picture, in the bigger soul picture of whatever judgment is. And then Justice, which I found sort of weird. And I was thinking, what does that mean? But I think the image is interesting, the two umbrellas. It's working out how to balance everything, your mortal life, your new experience on the other side of the portal. It's balance, balance, balance. And to realize things have to be in balance to make a whole. So I describe that as a realization, you know, if you like, about the need for balance in the cosmos, in the meta picture, you know, big stuff. Yeah, okay, that's me.
They find a lot more like-minded people with the lovers, people who are
Oh, nice.
seeking, people who are
Nice.
trying to be enlightened. The thing is, Valerie, thank you for the donating to Sienna.
Does that mean all
Thank
your
you very
old
much.
lovers are on the other side waiting? Oh,
The challenge is, though, they are not quite, they're trying to be enlightened, but they may not have found it, or they're finding partial pieces of it because they've planted the seed. But the thing is they've, in the environment, they've gotten to this place, but they don't know what it is. There's this major change. I've been looking for it. It's here, but I don't quite know what it means. In the past, they were victorious. They felt like just getting there means that they found this portal. I've entered this portal. Now I'm going to be something. So they put all of their cards in one deck of getting to this place as being victorious in the past. But the problem is that was just the first step. And with the outcome is actually the Page of Swords, there's way more things that they're going to have to do, figure out. They just got to step one. It's like I don't know. It's like when I graduated college to have thousands of $100,000s of dollars or thousands of dollars to debt just to find out I couldn't really get a job with that little shitting ass bachelor's degree. And I'm going to have to go back and get a master's. So like I got close, but not close enough. And then having the master's, being in the workforce. And it's like, gosh, dang it. I can't keep getting promoted. Please don't tell me I have to go back and get a PhD. And it's like, guess what? I'm going back to get a PhD. It's like you keep getting closer, but not enough. It's like they think just getting to that point means that they're done. But there's still more work that needs to be accomplished.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I agree with what you said. There's a lot to be done. I think that what Johnny said is that each portal gives you something different.
Yeah.
studying the chakras, the heart chakra is a portal. The heart chakra is the portal between the upper and the lower chakras, right? But it's also a portal for you to travel in the universe, right? This allows you to do that because this is where you're from. You're from love. This is the way you can travel, through the love portal. You can find relatives or others beings in the portal. But like you were saying, Lena, there's balance. There's something there when you go in that you have to find the balance of where you are. You have to balance out where you are in the general scheme of things of that world of wherever you're going. It could be that, something eats your face off.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't worry too much about it.
You're wicked today, Tony. I love that. I love that.
But there's always wisdom and love. Like I said, love is the way to travel. You have to do it on your own, because when you go through a portal, you can't expect other people to follow you. They don't. I don't think that if you walk through a portal that everybody ends up in the same place.
Yeah, right. That's key.
Right? That card that I had with all those doors, you go through that portal, but there's all these other things that could take you, right? So that's how I feel. I think that that's what happens when you go through a portal. It's like there's so many different ways you can go. And not everybody, even if you go together, you don't necessarily end up in the same place.
Frequency.
All about frequency. Yep.
Sienna Rose.
Well, yeah, I have that it depends on what you need at the time that you go, through the portal or you do whatever to access it. Some people expect that, this will fix everything. Some people think this is going to be great and I'm going to get everything I want out of this experience. But sometimes what you want and what you need are different things. So I have the tower. This is not always a bad thing, but what I'm getting is that you get truth. You get the truth that you need at that time. For some people, that's fine. For some people, that is like 9 of Cups. Oh, yeah, sure, I get what I want. I've got a very valuable learning experience. And for some people, it's very difficult. And it, can start a spiritual awakening in somebody who has not been totally awakened yet. That in itself can be really, really jarring. And for some, it's really jarring. And for others, it's like, okay, no big deal. But you are gifted with what you need at that time. The experience with 6 of Pentacles here, the experience is meant to help you. Sometimes the help is, really gentle, and sometimes the help takes the form of a spiritual kick in the butt. And that's what I get. You go through a portal, you find the truth that you need for that time being.
That's a great way of summing it up, I think.
I agree.
And it's going to be different for each person who experiences it. Life is not a one-size-fits-all thing. But yeah, that's what we have for our questions for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I know we definitely had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had just as much fun as I did, and I hope that you guys watching had as much fun as we did and had a really good laugh there. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a while.
I need
where I like snort and almost go off my chair. That was great. I needed that though. Definitely needed that.
I need
we all do.
Professional after Tony.
Yeah. We all need some levity. And remember out there, my message to all of you, to all of us, handle what you can handle, take what you can take. You know what you can and what you cannot endure. Leave that. Don't stop watching the news 24 hours a day. There's so much other stuff to watch. Replay this
Yep.
Certain parts you don't want to skip, but replay this.
On silly. Keep it on silly.
But lighten
Thank
your
you, guys.
energy, lighten your mood, lighten your surroundings.
Mhm.
Don't invite the negativity in your house because it lives.
And go
Yeah.
get one of these. Go get one of these. 30 days of positive thinking. That's going to help.
Go get the coloring book. You can also get it at Barnes and Noble if you're in the US of A. Amazon. Go support. Go get your coloring book. Go get some crayons. Sit in a corner. Listen to some good music.
Go to Red Liquid
Therapy.
Healing, get some meditation oil, and do the whole deal.
Do something. Do something.
I'll make sure to put after we're done here, I'll be sure to put a link in the description and maybe a pinned comment or something like that. So where you guys can find 30 days of positive thinking.
Yes,
we
good
don't-
idea.
We don't advertise it every
Yes,
single week.
good. God knows we all need it.
Y'all get tired of
And we don't
Thanks,
advertise it.
everybody, for
As soon as I
tuning
get
in.
mine, I'm gonna show it to you.
Mhm. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. Thank you everybody for watching and for the super chats and for all the supportive comments and the thumbs up and this and that. I really appreciate it. I really do. I love doing these Friday streams with you guys. It's so much fun. Be sure to check out Shining Hawk Healing, Red Lentil Healing, Tarot's Apprentice, and Leonor Rodriguez if you have not already done so, because you will not regret it. Okay, so go binge watch all their content, subscribe, thumbs up all their stuff, whatever you got to do. It helps them out greatly. So with that, you guys, thank you so much, and we're
next
going to
week
see you.
We'll be
We're
on
Next week
Adrian.
on my channel.
Oh, next week on Adrian's.
Next week
yeah.
on my
Oh, yeah.
channel.
Right. So do not forget next
Luna,
week.
if you want to come back next week, let me know.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
We'll have you back if you want to come back.
if I didn't scare you away.
No. Take a bit to scare me after those spiders.
Oh,
Yes.
no kidding. Marie, thanks for the super chat. All right. So everybody have a great night. Have a great weekend. We will see you again very, very soon. Okay. Bye.